Nolan Wells did not die on Horn Island. You know, I really don't like doing this kind of content, but I'm pretty certain that I'm supposed to. I am a person who sees things. Call it what you want, telepathy, um, psychic, being psychic, being psychic, whatever you choose to call it. But I do see things. All right. Around the time of Nolan's death, as I was waking up in the morning, I saw him laying face down, um, well, stomach. He was laying on his stomach, and he, his face was turned to what would be his left. His face was swollen. There was blood from his mouth and his nose. He had most certainly been in some kind of altercation, some kind of physical altercation. Okay, that was the first time that I saw it. I didn't think a whole lot of it because at the time, actually, I hadn't even heard about um, the incident. The next thing that I see is a bit of a big brawl. I couldn't tell exactly who was in it, but there was more than one person against the other. And yeah, there were several Caucasian people against what seemed to be one young black man. Now, at this point, I'll say that I've seen the footage of what's her name, Nancy Grace, the background footage that they're playing in her video, along with the audio that they're playing. I don't think that that's the fight that I saw. Okay, whatever was going on there, I don't think that it had anything to do with what actually happened to Nolan Wells. It could have, but I don't think so. The same thing with uh, the shot of the guy pulling another guy out of the water onto a surfboard by his hair. I don't believe that was Nolan Wells being pulled out of the water. Okay, I'm just saying that because the next thing that I saw, actually, after the fight that evening, I have another dream. And in this dream, I was in a swimming pool. I was among friends and family. Okay. Um, as I was swimming beneath a floaty, which happened to have one of my exes on it, she grabbed my ankles. And when she grabbed my ankles, I couldn't move. I couldn't swim. And for whatever reason, I couldn't even I couldn't even kick hard enough to get away from her. Which, in real life, that's something that I would be able to do. Against most anyone. And usually, I kick away, kick out, get free. I wake up, you know, after I come up out of the water. I didn't come up out of the water. And so when I woke up, I had to sit and consider, why didn't I come up out of the water? And a voice spoke to me and said, because he didn't. I said, okay. Still, I'm wondering who he is. And in that instant, Nolan's face reappeared to me. Okay. So I'm like, oh shit, okay. Somebody drowned him. But that's, I mean, it's horrible in and of itself. But that's not the worst of it. See, because Nolan was killed at one of his friend's house. Okay. He was killed in their pool. Someone held his legs. There were at least two people. One of them um, was an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, whichever. One of them was an ex, and his feet were being held while his head was being held underwater and dunked underwater. This is why those who are helping to cover up the case in Mississippi have dispensed with his lungs and his esophagus, because you're going to find not just water there. You're not going to find lake water there. You're going to find, or salt water there. You're going to find chlorine. You're going to find pool water in his lungs. This is why they won't give it up. And they've probably already destroyed it. I mean, think about it. Would you rather be facing time for certain murder, under investigation for a certain murder, or for destruction of evidence, if they can figure out that that's exactly what you've done? Obstruction of justice, what, 5 years in the feds? Probably less in the state. But remember, these are all people involved in the cover work. You have a judge, and you have the sheriff, you have the coroner. These are all their administrative people. These are the people who are supposed to handle justice. These are the people who know how to get. These are the people who would know how to get away with murder. They may not get away with obstruction, but they will get away with the murder, because you don't. I guarantee you, the lungs, the esophagus, that has been destroyed. It's because it had chlorine in it. The system had chlorine in it. See, you can't, even if you could tell that he has chlorine in his system from having the rest of his body, you can't necessarily say that that's how he died. That he had enough in it in his lungs to say that, to show that he drowned in a pool. You understand what I'm saying? Even if the pool didn't have chlorine, the water that they sailed upon, the water that they boated across, is salt water. You're not going to find salt water in his lungs. You're going to find chlorine, because they killed him at the house, at the pool. All the back and forth with the boat, all of this was people coming together to construct the cover up of this crime. And I'll tell you one more thing. I truly believe that the young lady actively participated in his murder. Maybe not intending to kill him, but as I say, it was one of my exes that was holding my ankles while someone else, while I was being actually held down by something else. That something else was another person who drowned him. And the worst part about it, what really made me angry, is that the person who was drowning him said something to the effect, he's still begging. Just thought I needed to share that.